Hey everyone, it's DFA. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are taking a look at the ship in the Blitz path for the month of April, which is the Leipzig. Yeah, and before you ask the question, this is actually the historical camo. I know it looks like they haven't done anything with it, but they have. There is some camo on that thing. Let's not look at it too much and look at the stats instead. And let's quickly compare it with the other light cruisers at tier 6, couple of premiums, and the Nuremberg, because that thing is supposed to be kind of a copy of the Nuremberg, but yeah, not quite actually. When you look at it, so it trades the sonar for the engine accelerator. That's a pretty bad trade. Precise aim for rapid reload one, okay, whatever. The survivability is quite comparable with the Nuremberg in that it's not very good, 20,000 HP, pretty poor damage reduction numbers, but the surface detection concealment is actually quite nice, 7.6 kilometers. Maneuverability is quite good, it's still a light cruiser, so decent top speed, acceleration, traverse, all good, very nice. Main guns 950mm guns with a reload time that's actually a bit increased for the Leipzig versus the Nuremberg, and the range only 10 kilometers. That is the worst at tier 6. Ouch, ouch, ouch. HEDPM, it's a German ship, its average APDPM is quite good at 40,000, a bit less than the Nuremberg, and the turret rotation at 10 degrees is also quite decent. But where the ship gets the big difference with the other destroyers at tier 6 is in, especially the German ones, it's in the torpedo department. You get the 6 torpedoes that the Nuremberg has, but instead of having to get dangerously close to your targets, you can now shoot them from 8.4 kilometers. And that's actually very, very good, and we will see why in the gameplay, because it gives you options that the Nuremberg simply did not have. And so yes, you're essentially trading a bit of everything to get that increased torpedo range, and you're also trading the A of the Nuremberg was not good. This one is even worse, and one of the worst at tier 6. Okay, let's take a look at that thing in action. And so yeah, it doesn't really look like a good trade on paper. You're trading your sonar, you're trading your AA, you are trading your gun range, and you are trading your precise aim for a couple of kilometers extra torpedo range. And you're also getting a pretty dull historical camo instead of the really nice camo of the Nuremberg. Enough talking, let's see what that thing can do. Let's get into some action. And here, for example, immediately I'm not going to engage that DD, I don't have precise aim, and there's a Zara right behind it, so what I'm going to do to take advantage of my turret's position, I'm going to position myself in a way to get out. And you see the immediately the advantage of that thing versus the Nuremberg, you are able to actually use your torpedoes. So it's absolutely not a problem to be firing at that Zara, and now I'm putting myself in a position to be using all my guns as I am retreating. You see, that's what that ship does very, very well indeed. And it's a common technique with the Nuremberg as well. You put yourself in a position where you are able to retreat after an engagement, because you're not really a ship that's made for pursuing other enemy ships. You only have one turret at the front, so that's a bit annoying. Unlike the other cruisers at tier 6 are relatively well balanced. You get about the same amount of guns at the front or at the back. Here that is not the case, and you see that immediately. So I don't have a sonar as well, so I knew that ship had shot torpedoes my way. It was pretty obvious, but I had no idea to know where they were actually going. Yes, so yeah, that changes the rules of engagement quite a bit if you compare it with other German cruisers, and that takes a bit of time getting used to, and it's definitely something you have to anticipate. But where I think this thing shines, where I think Leipzig shines, it's giving you another option that the Nuremberg really did not have before. If you wanted to use those torpedoes with the Nuremberg, like with the 5.5 or something like kilometers range, you had to get dangerously close to your targets, well into your detection range. And since you didn't really have the survivability to get away with it, usually you would be the last thing you did before dying. It was incredibly hard to be using those torpedoes, but not with Leipzig. You get around 2.5 kilometers with the historical camo of stealth torp range, and you actually have an option to be dealing with enemy battleships, and that's what I absolutely like with that thing. Take a look at what we're going to do with that KGV. I'm not going to engage it with my guns immediately, instead I'm going to turn around, get me in a position to be running away and to be using my rear turrets when I do so. And I'm going to be shooting torpedoes at that thing. It's well outside my detection range at this stage, so I'm just going to randomly shoot torpedoes there. And it doesn't seem to be interested in me, so I can actually now engage with my guns. So yeah, it's really a welcome capability for German light cruisers, and it's really something that was missing for me for the rest of the line. And so take a look at what we're able to do to that KGV. We're able to deal quite a lot of damage to it, absolutely no problem, he's not interested in us. But I noticed that my base the enemy team is actually getting too close to my base and I have to go back. So we're going to be leaving that KGV. We managed to get one hit on him, that's better than nothing. And what do we have here? We have a FIG, an enemy DD, which is currently capping our base. I'm supported by a Mackensen and there are two enemy battleships on the other part of the screen. So there you go. If I can get rid of the FIG and the enemy DD before the battleships reach the crime scene, I might actually have a shot because of my excellent stealth torp range and my ability to engage battleships without taking too many risks. But yeah, let's see what happens. You see, I don't have a sonar. I'm expecting the enemy DD to have shot torpedoes at me now, and you see that one of the limitations of the Leipzig, and when you are rushing to a crime scene or a certain base, you cannot use all of your guns to fire when you are doing that. You always have to show full broadside when you are moving forward. And so here I remember in that gameplay I was very uncomfortable with that situation because I do not have my sonar. So I'm kind of helpless against that Aviere at the moment. I will certainly be punching holes in that Fiji who thinks it's a good idea to be broadsiding right in front of my battleship. That's okay, he's trying to torp him probably. And you see what you do not have to do with the Leipzig. You do not have to show too much skin to be able to get torpedoes into enemy battleships. So that cost the Fiji its game, and now we can actually chase that Aviere and hopefully get rid of him before the enemy battleships make it to the base and get into shooting range. But I'm not going to be able to delete that Aviere. So the guns are accurate enough, they can do quite a good job, but I would have really preferred to keep my precise aim, to be honest, because that's when you need it, when you have to place those accurate shots. And even though we are taking quite a bit of help from that Aviere, it's going to go really too slow, and unfortunately he will still be able to spot me and keep me spotted for those battleships to shoot at me. So I really want to delete it, but I fail. And now I'm in a very tough situation. I'm still going to be shooting torpedoes at that Fuso while I am disengaging, and you see, now the Mackensen is not there anymore. Can we delete that? Please, can we delete it this time? Can we get back to safety using our concealment? No, that's where we lose the game. I have no idea what hit me there. I wasn't even showing broadside to these guys, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's still a Nurnberg. You have to be incredibly careful with your positioning, with the amount of risks that you take to put shots on target. And there I'm trying to stay in the cap for as long as I can, but I get deleted, unfortunately. And so yes, Leipzig, it's a good ship, it's a fun ship, it's living proof that you can create a very interesting playstyle for a ship without making it overpowered or stupidly ridiculous. And so congratulations to Wargaming for putting that thing into the game. So they haven't created a second Atlantico at tier 6 this time, they've done a really good job with this one. And is it the best tier 6 cruiser? I'm not sure. But it's certainly quite interesting in terms of capabilities, it can teach you valuable lessons in terms of playstyle. And that's why I recommend it, essentially. That's why I recommend it, I've enjoyed playing it. And I hope you've enjoyed my review of it. I was able to show you what that thing does well, does not do well, and you can make an informed decision right now. So in the meantime, I will leave you with the result screen. Stay safe, take care. That was DFA signing out. Bye bye.